Unlimited. Hi, everyone. My name is Regina Cross, and I direct our alumni travel program. And thank you for joining us this afternoon to kind of get a little bit of a review of our Northern Italy trip that departs on April 3rd. I'd like to introduce you to your MSU host. It's Danielle Matlick, and she is going to say a few words. Danielle?
Hi there, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you. My name is Danielle Matlick. I am the Associate Director of Development for Student Life and Engagement. I am really excited to connect with you all in just a couple short weeks.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you, Danielle. Unlimited, and she's here to kind of give you a review of pre-trip information and what will happen upon arrival, and also what will happen during the tour. And then she's available to answer any questions. So go ahead, Jillian.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me today. I'm going to share my screen. All right, can everyone see the slides? Perfect. Okay. Hi, so I'm Jillian. I am an account coordinator at Odysseys Unlimited. So I work closely with Regina on all pre-departure items for her tours, helping to get all of our guests ready to go, getting new reservations booked, all of that good stuff. So I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about your Northern Italy tour, which is coming up in just a few weeks. Just to recap a couple tour highlights for you, although I'm sure all of you have memorized the itinerary by this point. You'll be touring the beautiful lake region of Italy, including the medieval towns of Orta San Giulio and Stresa. You have a cruise to the Isola Bella, where you'll tour the incredible palace and the stunning Italian gardens there. You have a full day tour of Cinque Terre, featuring Vernazza. You've also got your Florence sightseeing, your Venice sightseeing, and so much more. It really looks like an incredible itinerary. A quick reminder for you all, if you haven't recently logged into your My Odysseys portal, please be sure to sign in to view all of your information there. All of the information, pre-trip information, is available there for you to view. You can see all of your tour documents here, available on the portal for you to click through and read before your trip. So please make sure that you're logging in here and taking a look. All of these essential documents were also emailed to you, I believe on March 13th. You should have gotten an email with all of those details and all of these documents conveniently located in that email as well. Some basic trip information. You're going to be departing the United States on April 3rd and arriving in Milan on April 4th. At the end of the tour, your group will depart Venice on April 17th. Your MSU group has 10 total guests, including your host, Danielle, who's here. There is also going to be a cohort from CU Boulder joining your group. There are 8 guests in that group that will be tagging along with your trip. The currency in Italy, just as a reminder, is the euro. Please be sure that you're checking with your card issuer on any ATM, possible ATM fees or ATM agreements with banks in Italy. There are occasionally some banks in the US will have arrangements with certain banks or institutions in Europe that will offer you decreased fees for using ATMs. So I would suggest contacting your card issuer. All tips on the tour are included for all of the included sightseeing, all of your bus, your coach drivers, all of your included meals. Tipping is all included for all of that, except for your tour director. Your tour director who will be with your group for the full duration of the trip. We do suggest that guests tip or plan to tip between $10 to $15 per day per person for this tip for your tour director, but this is of course completely at your discretion. speaking of your tour director, this is your lovely tour director who will be meeting you in Milan. His name is Zoran Antonic. He has been a tour director for over 14 years now. He's originally from Croatia, so he's fluent in Croatian and Italian and English. He's got a degree in economics and tourism management, and he, in his free time, enjoys traveling, hiking, painting, and decorating. And he is one of our very highly rated tour guides for this tour, so you're in great hands. Some final notes for your pre-departure. Please be sure to check in for your flights 24 hours prior to departure. You may be able to select your seat assignments at that time via the airlines directly. We do suggest that guests plan to arrive at the airport about 3 to 4 hours prior to departure, just to ensure there are no issues. We also strongly recommend that you print out your essential tour information document, which is one of the documents that was emailed to you and is also available on your portal. This document contains our emergency phone number. So we have a 24/7 emergency line. If anything should happen on your way to the start of the trip, please give this number a call and we'll be able to assist you with any issues. Make sure that you're getting the assistance that you need. The number is right here if you want to jot it down, but again, it is in that essential tour information document, so please be sure that you've got that on your phone or printed out with you. Just a little note, don't forget your passport. I know none of you will. I'll have it ready to go, but we just do like to include that here as well. There's always one that slips through the cracks. And then finally, upon arrival in country, a porter will meet your group in baggage claim in Milan. So we will actually have a porter there in baggage claim to meet the group. If for some reason you don't connect with the representative at baggage claim, you'll want to head to exit 8. Exit 8 in the Milan airport is where you can reconnect with the group if you don't see the porter in the baggage area. This information is also noted on that essential tour information document, so don't worry about it if I'm jotting that down. It is on that document, so please be sure to have that as well. And that's it for me. Just quick little reminders there about your upcoming trip. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to just stop sharing my screen so I can answer some questions if you have any.
Okay, do we have anyone that has questions? You can either put them in the chat or you can just unmute and ask Jillian directly.
Do you have an update on the weather conditions for the area we're visiting? I know that I guess what I researched was it's in the low to mid 60s in daytime. Do you anticipate that that's going to be the situation when we get there?
Take a quick look. Let's see. So we generally expect to see 60s, like you said, being the highs, but it can in the evenings especially dip down into the 40s. So we do anticipate that kind of that general range for your trip. So packing in layers is always a good idea.
Are always recommended.
Always. In any scenario.
Yeah, on the chance there might be rain, a jacket.
Yeah.
Hopefully not snow.
Oh, fingers crossed.
That I'm getting right now here in Michigan.
That's what Regina was saying when we hopped on. That's crazy.
Yes.
It's Michigan spring.
All right. Anyone else have questions?
So I had a few questions from the travel insurance, had some travel tips that made me wonder. So what about COVID testing over there?
Do you mean like getting testing if you were to go to a medical facility? I do believe
whatever.
So guests you're welcome to bring your, personal test if you would like to. We do not require guests to test at this time any longer. And in Italy in general, there's no mandated testing. You know, if you fell ill, and were seen by a medical professional, they may offer you a test. But it's not like it was even just last year, in terms of kind of the frequency of testing. But it is readily available. But if it is going to be a concern for you, I'd suggest just packing a couple tests in your bag, just to have, just in case.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Julian, can you kind of go over the protocol for what would happen if someone did test positive? My understanding is it's essentially social distancing.
Yes. Yep. So at this point, we're no longer requiring that guests self-isolate within their hotel room, but they are required to. If you do test positive, you are required to mask, to be around the group. We do try and keep individuals as separate as possible on the coach busing and during meals.
So
So
should we
bring a
bring our
mask?
own masks, or are they going to be available to us?
Your tour director would definitely make masks available, if there were a situation to arise like that. However, I personally just always bring them just in case. I would just tuck a couple in your bag.
I recommend that. I also recommend that you mask while you're on your aircraft, because there is that chance you're in close proximity with a lot of people. So I do recommend.
Yeah, I did that personally as well on my last trip. Just, I didn't want to be sick for the start of the trip.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't COVID, just a cold.
Yeah. What about local cash? Do we need to come with any euros?
No, I would suggest waiting until you're there to withdraw directly from an ATM. That will ensure that you get the best exchange rate. And your tour director will absolutely point out where ATMs are most convenient upon your arrival.
Okay, and so in using our cell phones, is putting WhatsApp on adequate to communicate with like restaurants and other people, stuff like that?
So WhatsApp, yes, in general. WhatsApp is a great way to communicate and stay kind of on if you just wanted to use Wi-Fi as opposed to data. Your tour director will, most of our tour directors have WhatsApp and will share that with guests and share their information with you. So you'll be able to contact your tour director that way. In terms of restaurants, if there's ever an issue with contacting them via WhatsApp, or a similar messaging service, your tour director can 100% assist you in making reservations and calling places, using their cell phone.
So we don't really need to worry about having our international calling on our phone.
It's entirely up to you. I mean, yeah, depending on what carrier you have. I think AT&T and Verizon both have what they call travel pass, where you only get charged if you use it for a day. And I think it's $10 a day. So it's entirely up to you. If you want to be connected, then there's that option. But other than that, then WhatsApp would probably work well.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is just to consider is for using data and things is if you wanted to rely on your phone as your GPS, as using a map, that sort of thing, then I would suggest securing an international plan.
I would think that if you have like emergency situation, like you'd want to use your phone, not WhatsApp, wouldn't you? So wouldn't that be some kind of advantage? They must have a 911 sort of code that you put in, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just usually just can have I have Verizon, and so I just have it automatically whenever I'm in a foreign country, it kicks in as soon as I try to use data or try to make a call. It just automatically says, okay, we're charging you $10 today. So
okay,
yeah, but you check with your carrier. That's the best thing to do.
When we're in Venice, I wanted to visit the Peggy Guggenheim Museum, and I was just looking for the itinerary. I think we have scheduled touring in the morning, and I wondered what would be a reasonable time that I'd be free to schedule, because I'd like to get tickets ahead, a ticket ahead of time on the internet.
Yeah. I believe that you do have touring in the morning, but there's no lunch included. So I would say generally anytime after, 1 o'clock would be safe. That would be
We'll
my
be on
suggestion.
the main island, as I remember. The museum is on another island that you have to take a taxi, a floating taxi over there.
I'm not personally sure, but I do know that that's one of the things that guests frequently like to do during that afternoon of free time. So your tour director will also be more than happy to assist with, if there's a group of you that are going, to assist with the transportation portion.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions? No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Danielle and Jillian, for joining us today and answering questions. If any of you do have additional questions, feel free to reach out to Danielle. She'll be contacting you, I believe tomorrow. Is that right, Danielle? She'll be reaching out to you. And she will be able to get your answer or your questions answered. She'll either contact Jillian or myself. So I wish you all safe travels. And
I have another question.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. Not a problem.
On one of the documents provided, it says that checked luggage should not exceed 44 pounds. I've never traveled anywhere with less than 50 plus pounds. So, and I thought I read someplace else that, well, certainly on Lufthansa, 50 pounds is the acceptable. So I was kind of surprised to see 44. I wonder where that came from.
44 is kind of sorry, Regina.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Jillian. You can answer it.
44 is kind of the lowest common denominator across all airlines. So it's essentially the lowest possible, the possible poundage. So we include that to be safe. But if you're flying Lufthansa and it says 50 pounds is your max, then you're good.
Okay.
That's not it. We're not going to have scales weighing for your porterage. It's just we include 44 pounds to be safe, as there are some airlines that do limit to 44.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was it.
I'm always at 52, so I'm right there with you.
I was at 57 recently. So.
Oof.
Another question.
You gotta have room for souvenirs.
But
I have a question.
Okay. Who, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Is it Jacqueline? Did you have a question?
I did, but I wasn't the one that had mentioned that.
Oh,
I
okay.
was just wondering about the electrical conversion. So, I got one of these from my, from the free gift thing. Is it something I'm going to need to use?
Yes, I
Yes.
believe you will. Yes.
And this little guy will be adequate for pretty much everything we need?
I wouldn't plug in like a curling iron or a blow dryer or anything that has a lot higher wattage. Yeah, that can handle it. But probably most hotels will have blow dryers available, but not like a curling iron or so forth. So
I'm kind of assuming that the hotels will have things like soap and shampoo, things like that, that I don't really need to pack a 2-week supply.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Toiletries will be provided. But yes, that adapter should work well.
Okay, someone else.
I
had
think I read where the carry-on luggage is 15 pounds, so the carry-on.
So again, I would double check with your airline specifically to see what their
Well, I
recommended
thought
is.
this was something that was not unique to the airlines, but something that, because we're traveling by bus or something, that we were limited.
So we do generally say the 15 pounds for our general guidance. But as I mentioned, we're not going to be weighing your bags. So really it is what the airlines require is what you should go by. So they might have a higher limit for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, did someone else have a question?
I just had a question about the amenities in the hotels as far as shampoo and conditioner and hair dryers.
Okay.
So most of the hotels will provide basic toiletries. I don't know about a lot of European hotels. I don't usually have conditioner, but definitely shampoo and body wash. But personally, I always bring a little conditioner and then just rely on them for the rest. In terms of hair dryers, let me take a look and see. We usually have that noted because it's
Yeah. I'll also mention that most European hotels do not have washcloths. So if you're used to using a washcloth, you might want to pack one yourself.
yeah,
Put
that's
it
a great
inside a
suggestion.
Ziploc bag, so if you have to move to another hotel and it's wet, you can keep it from getting other clothes wet. So,
That's a great
And
suggestion.
detergent if you want to do hand washing.
yeah,
So,
Tide makes these little packets that I use quite often.
So is there other little tips like no conditioner and no washcloth that we maybe ought to know about?
Can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I can't think of anything either.
So do you think we'll need any like hiking shoes?
No,
Or
I would bring comfortable walking shoes for sure. But definitely nothing super rugged.
Okay.
You're not going to be doing any really, really active.
We're not going to
hiking,
scale
so.
the Dolomites?
I mean, if you've got free time and you want to, you're,
Oh, okay.
welcome to do so. But
Liz, I'll
for
go with you.
Okay.
So you two should pack hiking shoes.
but they're heavy.
Yeah, and they take up a lot of space.
Will we be able to get by with some sandals, do you think?
If they're comfortable, if you're comfortable in them, I've done a lot of touring in sandals, but ones with really good arch support, and really thick soles. So if you're comfortable in them, then I would say yes, but definitely bringing comfortable sneakers kind of as a backup.
How dressy do like restaurants and stuff require?
All of our included restaurants won't be particularly fancy. We do sometimes have guests who want to get a little dressier for the kind of welcome dinner or the farewell dinner at the end of the tour. But in general, we don't advise guests to pack anything overly fancy for our included touring. If you want to make a reservation on your own at a fancy place, you're welcome to do so. But for what we've got,
well, I assume like shorts are going to be okay as long as the weather's warm enough for most things that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Short
Except
sleeves.
for maybe in churches.
Yeah, I was gonna
certain
say
churches you need to cover up your shoulders, and some don't like it if you have anything above the knee.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe planning to bring a sweater if you're wearing a sleeveless top. Exactly. But yeah, for the days when you'll be touring churches, below the knee is generally the best bet.
So for daytime, getting around, apparel are blue jeans and that sort of thing appropriate, as long as you're not all ripped up and
yeah, absolutely,
that type of thing. Okay, all right, just whatever's comfortable and rugged.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do have another recommendation too. If you're traveling with another person, that you pack clothes in each piece of luggage. So, if you have a spouse, you pack some of your clothes in the spouse's luggage and so forth.
Yeah,
because there's
in
always
case one or the other
chance,
gets lost.
yeah, if something gets lost. And then if you have like a favorite pair of shoes, or you have a favorite, sweater that, you don't feel like you can replace, pack it in your carry-on. That's what I really recommend. Anything that you don't want to lose, always pack with you or keep with you at all times.
Should you want to do laundry, will facilities like that be available at the hotels where you can just throw a quick load in and get it done? Or how do you
Most
do
of
that?
the hotels, I believe, on this tour that offer laundry services, it's kind of it's like a laundry service. So you would pay them and they would come to your room and take your clothing and do all the pressing and all of that. So it's a little pricier. So I would suggest, as Regina mentioned, if you plan on doing some laundry, grabbing a couple of those little Tide packets,
Okay.
to plan to do it in your room. Personally, you're welcome to pay for that service. But it can get a little pricey at the hotels.
But it's not a do-it-yourself. You put it in a bag and they take it off and deliver it back.
Yeah,
Okay.
white glove service for your laundry. So,
all right.
That being said, I'm sure the tour director would be happy to, connect you with local laundromats, that sort of thing. But that would be an option. I do just want to know, I know I didn't get a chance to circle back about the hair dryers, but I've just confirmed that there are hair dryers in all of the hotels on the tour. So no need to pack one.
And remember to pack all medications with you. Keep those with you too. Do not pack those in your luggage that has a chance of getting lost. So, okay. Any other questions?
That little electrical adapter, I think when I looked at that, that was just for putting UBS type connections in.
Well,
Was it also for a regular plug-in type thing too?
Yes.
All right.
But again, it's not really an adapter where it doesn't switch the wattage or the voltage. It doesn't do that. It helps convert from the plugs that are in those, European plugs.
The wall receptor is different from ours.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I think the only other thing was that it indicated that it was a surge suppressor too for your sensitive things if you're charging them. Yeah.
I have a tip for laundry. Instead of the pods, I use these sheets. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Laundry sheets, and they don't explode, and they're super light, and they work great. So I bought mine at Target.
Good suggestion.
Good to know.
Thanks, Kirsten.
I might have to do that myself.
I was traveling around for 4 months and I had those with me and it made things really easy. So.
All right. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay. Again, if you do, reach out to Danielle and then she can touch base with Jillian or myself and we can get the questions answered. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for attending today. And if for some reason you've forgotten what something said, I will be sending out a video once I finalize it. I have to usually edit it a little bit, and I'll get that out to you so that you can rewatch this if you need to. So, wow. I wish you all safe travels and a wonderful time. I just love Italy. I think that's one of my favorite countries. So I think you're really going to enjoy it. And okay. All right, and you'll
see you
meet
in a couple of weeks.
I don't know that anyone else is on the same flight as Danielle, but if not, you know what she looks like, so you might see her in an airport or at the hotel once you arrive.
Thank you.
Hey, bye.
Have a great
Thank you.
trip.
Thanks, Jillian. Danielle. Bye-bye.